Hi, and welcome to ExportKit. In this example, we'll be taking a look at our WordPress header and how we can basically manipulate it to be exactly what we want in the output, along with adding some custom WordPress functions. So be sure to like and subscribe and click the notification bell for alerts to new videos. Now, we're going to jump right in, and with the header, what we by default want to do is ensure that our content is within a folder, and the name of the folder is irrelevant. Now, if we have subfolders such as the header nav, we still want all the content within a single folder. This is very important to maintain the WordPress structure. Now, the second thing along with having a top level folder is that you must have a background to match that folder. Now, how you determine your background is up to you. A lot of users will either have the background spanning to the width of the actual artboard, or depending on if you're using overflow, what you can do is have the background span beyond the artboard, in essence, to basically have a design that fits multiple screens. We can see off the bat here, it doesn't look like the background is actually matching the artboard size. Now, this can be very common when you're creating your header from your design. What you're going to note is that the header itself, header does not snap to content, and your artboard, I should say, does not snap to your content. And what you need to do is you can either change the size of your artboard to match. You'll see that the content itself, the content will go to, I believe it's 70, while the artboard is 75. So you can either change the height of the artboard, or you can actually remap your content to match. So let's actually just do the latter. Let's change the content to match. So let's get this background slightly larger. So now the background has matched the size of the actual header itself. And this is very important, and I'll be able to show you why in a moment. What we're using are WordPress options with our WP options tag, and we've added a BG color. And now this is within the header content, so this is very important. What this will do is allow the end user or the admin to actually manipulate the properties of the background, which is the color, without having to actually contact you in the end. So we can take a look here really quick. You'll see here that we have the white background, but if we were to go to our settings within our header, we have the BG color. This is reflective of the name of the actual option that we assigned. So if we were to change the color, let's go green. You'll see that it did not actually fill the entire area. And this is because our original design, you can tell, had a little bit of a gap. So what we did was corrected that. Now, in essence, let's just go ahead and fix this. So we're going to re-export our design for WordPress. We're going to ensure we have dynamic because it's WordPress. And I believe we need CSS images. Now we could re-upload our entire files, but because we mainly only worked with the header, let's just re-upload the header. Now, the reason why I only uploaded the header was because this wasn't an actual skin, this was a shape. Had this been a skin, I would also have to upload, re-upload the actual skin corresponding, but this should work. So you'll see now that we were able to complete the gap. And this was mainly because what we did was we changed the size of our content within our actual XD file. Now, continuing with this, and let's just actually change the color back to white. Now, as long as we have our content folder or our top level folder, now we also have our background color that we've assigned with our background shape. What we also have is a general logo, and we've assigned an option to this as well. And we also have a title that we've added. And our title is using a native WordPress method, which is blog info, and we're actually applying the property name. Now, with ExportKit, you can use any native WordPress method. It just depends on what you want to use and which area you'd like to use it. So you should be a little bit familiar with WordPress if you're going to use raw PHP, but it is supported fully. And we can see in the output what it does is that within our settings, we have a logo that we can change. And we also, you'll see that it says my blog, but if we were to go to our settings, let's change it to my test blog, you'll see that it updates based on the actual blog info. Now, our navigation menu, this is very important that it supports all the defaults and native WordPress settings for creating menus. So we do not recommend that you actually create static menus, and you'll see here that we have a static design. What we suggest is that you use the native WordPress functionality to create menu elements that WordPress will emulate to designate a menu that you have in your output. Now we're going to go into a little bit more detail with this in a subsequent video, but in essence, but what it does is it will actually work with the native WordPress functionality for menus. So let's assume we added a service and about. You'll note in our design we're actually using header menu as an ID. And in WordPress, what we can do is we can assign that menu location, header menu, and assign a menu to it. Once assigned, we can refresh, and you'll see that now we have our entire content based on our design. Now the rollover state also, this is all done within our XD design.